Let's talk today about the American dream. A lot of people entering the workforce, heading out of college, and even those serving in the workforce think after time they're going to become wealthy, famous perhaps, powerful, influential, the kind of people who can make a difference in the community, have an impact in their society. And yet that's not actually what ends up happening. Today I want to invite you to diverge from the path you think you're on into a path that hopefully you will be on. A report that was done by Paul Jacobs showed up in the Pacific Standard where he researched over 20,000 Americans from 1994 to the year 2016 to see what it was that caused them to move up, to be upwardly mobile, to gain influence in the workplace. And he found that, in fact, most people are not upwardly mobile in the workplace. Most people are not making more than their parents made. They're not attaining the goals that they set out to attain. Well, isn't that encouraging? It's pretty discouraging, in fact. He found the number one indicator that indicated upward mobility was the job that your father had. Now, who wants to sign up for that as the method by which you get to move forward in life or not? I don't think so. So today I want to invite you to diverge from that reality into a reality that you can shape and you can have some control over. If you're a manager, if you're a leader, there's certain behaviors and things you can do that will help younger people in the workforce to actually progress, to move up, to grow in their leadership. If you're in the workforce and you're young, I'm going to talk about a couple things you can do to move up, to grow, to progress. Most managers actually say they want to help workers grow. They want to see them develop. That's their desire, or at least their heart intent. But research done by Pace Productivity, Inc. showed that the most common number of hours spent by managers in a week in the workforce is about 3.3 hours actually managing people. Just a measly little 3.3 hours. Why is that? Well, I know why it is. I've been in the workforce for a long time. We're really busy. Managers are really busy. Leaders are really busy. When are you going to go spend that time to develop some people, manage some people? It usually doesn't happen, and it falls away from leaders because we've forgotten the importance or the priority of developing other people and the benefits it can bring to yourself and to the companies that you work in, the organizations that you serve in. There's reasons to invest in people. Number one, you're going to attract and have a better workforce if you invest in people. In a recent report by PwC's Millennials at Work is the name of the report, they showed that 35% of millennials are very attracted to organizations that provide continual education, continual training. They want to work in those places. So if you're the type of manager who actually invests in your people, who builds into them and gives them your time and energy and attention, you're going to attract a better workforce. Secondly, you're going to feel better about yourself. Now that may sound a little bit shallow or somewhat bizarre, but I know this. Working year after year after year after year, if all you're doing is contributing to the bottom line, developing a little better product, winning some award somewhere, you're going to feel pretty empty later on. I'm 50. I know that over time, the awards, the numbers that you've accomplished, the statistics, they don't mean that much. What actually is meaningful is the people that you've helped step up, the lives you've helped improve, the individuals you've invested your life into, and that's going to feel very valuable. And it is valuable. It's meaningful. It lasts much longer than the accolades you won somewhere back in the past. And since then, you've probably lost a couple times, and the accolades are forgotten anyway. So you're going to have an opportunity to better the organization through a stronger workforce. You're going to have an opportunity to feel better about yourself as you lift people up. Third, you're going to actually build a stronger organization. Individuals who are developed are going to contribute at a very different level than those who are not. They're going to probably be more loyal to your organization or your business or your company or you as a boss. They're going to still be there. You're not going to have the brain drain that happens from people leaving. They're not going to fly away like a bunch of birds that get scared in the park. They're not going to be always looking for the next best opportunity. The grass won't actually seem better on the other side of the fence if you're developing them and building into them and helping them to grow. If we're going to do this as managers, once you recognize and remember the priority, it's important that we know how to help people grow. First, I think you have to identify individuals who have potential for higher level leadership. These are the ones you want to pour into, not just people who are high performers. Someone can be a high performer and not possess the potential for higher level leadership rather. How do you do that? How do you know? Well, there's a study that was done by Dr. Bobby Clinton. He researched about 1,500 people and followed them through their leadership life. And he found a key that I have found to be true as well. I call it the Fleischmann effect. Fleischmann's, if you didn't know it, is some yeast. It's fast-acting yeast. Well, how do you know which employees that you're working with are those that are going to be the fast-acting yeast? One of the best ways I think to know is to look at those who volunteer for additional learning opportunities. You don't have to drag them into the training room. You don't have to require the training. You don't have to guilt them into training. You offer training and they jump at it. When they're jumping at training, they're indicating to you they have potential for higher level leadership. If they're new to your workforce or you're interviewing them, you could ask them questions like, what did you do in high school for extracurricular activities? You know, did you spend your whole life playing Minecraft and Fortnite? Or were you finding ways to better yourself? Were you joining different clubs? Were you parts of different sports? In college, what did you do besides going to class? See, that was required. What did you do beyond that to help yourself grow? This is going to be indicative of the potential for higher level learning. Next, I think that you have to set up metrics so that the people you're wanting to develop know whether or not they're growing. Patrick Lencioni, in one of his books called The 3 Signs of a Miserable Job, the third sign is immeasurement. People don't know if they're winning or losing. Have you ever mowed the grass when it didn't actually need to be mowed? You know, you couldn't tell what you'd done or what you hadn't done. It's horrible. I actually enjoy mowing the grass because you can see your progress. It's measurable. People are like that in their lives. The people that are working with you, they need to know whether or not they're being successful. One way to find out if you're giving them good metrics is ask them at the end of the day, hey, did you have a good day? If they say yes, say, well, how do you know? If they don't know the answer to that, if they say yes, and you say, well, how do you know? And if they don't know the answer to why they had a good day, you probably don't have the right metrics in place. I ask my own children this question at the end of a school day. I'll say to them, did you have a good day at school? They used to say, yeah, because that's what kids say. Now they say yes. I say, well, how do you know? Now they know how to answer the question because they know what I'm measuring that indicates a good day at school. If the people that are working for you, they don't know how to answer that question, they don't know if they're winning or losing, it's really frustrating playing a game that you don't know if you're winning or losing. It's frustrating doing a project that you don't know if you're seeing progress or you're succeeding. So you have to have good metrics in place so that the people you're attempting to develop know whether or not they're succeeding and what their progress looks like. Not winning is okay if you know why you didn't win. Not succeeding is okay. If you know why you didn't succeed, you can go back, you can change it. You want to give them metrics and make sure that they can understand that. Number 3, you want to provide hands-on training. Don't just hand them a book and say, go learn something. Don't tell them to get on YouTube and just look at some videos and learn something. Take them with you. Bring them to a meeting. Maybe you're going to a tough negotiation. Bring them along and say to them, listen, you're going to come to this tough negotiation with me. Don't talk while we're in there. Just listen. I don't need you to jump in, but just watch, and they'll watch and learn. I know for my own team, I have to write a board report. So I'll say to them, you guys write sections of the board report. Then they'll turn those into me. I'll edit them. I'll meet with them. I'll say, we could have written it this way, or we should have said it that way, or this is good, or that's excellent. So that the first time they're asked to write a board report won't be the first time they've ever written one. Way back in the day when I had to write my first board report, nobody told me how to do it. Nobody taught me how to do it. I just wrote one. I was hoping that it was good. I didn't get feedback on it. Take them with you. Bring them along. You can do what I call lunch and learns. For the last 4 years at this organization, I've offered training during lunch to many people on my team. Most of it's voluntary. I'm watching for who's jumping in voluntarily because what are they doing? They're indicating that they have the potential for higher level learning, or leadership rather. And so we'll go through a book together and we'll talk about it together and we'll try to bring real life examples together. I'm bringing them along in the learning. Finally, number 4, you got to give them feedback. They have to know how they're doing. People want feedback. Feedback is so essential. Feedback shouldn't be like a Sasquatch that you never see, and when you see it, like, oh my word, feedback. No, feedback should be all the time. I'm a runner. I love to go running. When I'm running, I'm wearing a watch, and it's giving me feedback regularly. I'm watching it. What's my heart rate? What's my cadence? What's my time per mile? Should I be speeding up? Should I be slowing down? I need it to tell me the feedback so I can either improve by speeding up or slow down or go fast. What am I going to do? I need the feedback. Feedback is really, really essential. Liz Wiseman wrote a book called Multipliers. I think it's what we want to be as managers and leaders. You want to be multiplying yourself and people. You want to be multiplying them, not diminishing them. Some of the characteristics of multipliers are they put really big challenges in front of the people that they're multiplying. I'm the kind of person who likes a challenge. I put them in front of myself. Those who have potential for higher level leadership, they're going to thrive on the challenges. So put challenges in front of them. And you want to make sure that they know whether or not they're winning. Now, as an employee, maybe you're new in the workforce, maybe you're in your late 20s, early 20s, late 20s, early 30s. What you want to do is you want to get good bosses. How do you get a good boss? Ask lots of questions. You can interview the person interviewing you. What kind of learning environment exists in this organization? What kind of training opportunities do you have available? Maybe if you have the opportunity to talk to some of the people who work for that boss, what kind of development does the boss give you? What are the things that he or she does to help you grow? Get good bosses. Maybe you're serving in an organization and you know there's a division where that boss is developing people. Find ways to get transferred into that division so you can work under that boss that's developing people. Get good bosses. Secondly, do your homework. Know yourself. If you're in the workforce, you should know yourself. You should know your strengths, your weaknesses, your skills. You should understand what skills you need to acquire, what competencies do you need to grow in, and then start building into those. You know you want that next job or that promotion to that next thing. Figure out what's going to be required of you in that next place and then learn it, develop it, grow it in yourself now so you're ready for that promotion. Number 3, master the basics. As a young employee, master the basics. Know what the dress code is and kill it. Make sure you know it. Make sure you understand what's required of you. When are reports due? Turn them in on time. The people that are managing you, they don't know what you were like in high school and all your achievements on the lacrosse team. Those don't mean anything to them. They didn't see them. They weren't there. They don't know how you excelled in college. They weren't there. All they know is what you've delivered in the job you're in right now for the time that you've been in it. So make sure you're mastering the basics. Number 4, train others to do your job. Some of the reasons people don't get promoted is they're the only ones who know how to do the job. If you're the only one who knows how to do it, you got to kind of subtly train some other people to do some of the things you do so you can get promoted to something else. Fifthly, ask for a promotion. Accenture did a study of 3,500 executives, and they found that of those who asked for a promotion, 65% said it helped. 59% said they got the promotion because they asked for it. So statistically, the best way to get a promotion is ask for it. These are ways that you can be moving up and growing and developing. Finally, what you should not do as an employee, as a young employee. Number 1, you might hear some of the older employees, managers, bosses, executives, making fun of their age. That's fine for them to do. They're older. You should never make fun of their age. They might be fun-loving people who think it's funny, but you're going to run into somebody who doesn't think it's funny, and it's a CLM, a career-limiting move. So you shouldn't make fun of their age. They can make fun of their age all the time. Secondly, don't be known as that employee who's a complainer and a whiner and a pessimist. Don't be the person who's always down on everything, super cynical about everything, gossiping, complaining. You're not going to get promoted if you're that person. Your manager doesn't want you around them even more, so they're not going to promote you. Don't be that person. You want to be brief, be bright, be gone. You want to be bright. You want to be there. You want to be in it, and you want to be moving. You should be showing energy just by your behavior, not hanging out around the water cooler or the Coke machine or the lunchroom. You want to be on the move. Number 3, don't be a clock watcher. It's always humorous to me. Younger employees, they know right when 5 o'clock comes, that's when the workday ends. But they're not so committed to 8 o'clock when the workday starts. You shouldn't be watching the clock. Get there on time, maybe a little early, and don't always leave right at 5 o'clock. If you're actually engaged in your work, there's going to be some days your work has possessed you to the degree that you don't even realize it's 5 o'clock. That doesn't mean you have to always stay late either. I've known people like, well, I won't leave until 5:30 because I'm not watching the clock, but they leave right at 5:30 because they're watching the clock. Don't let that attitude overcome you where you become a clock watcher. Finally, don't wait for instructions. Be people of action. You're young, you're energetic, you're learning, take action, take risks, take challenges. If you've got a boss or a manager that's wanting you to grow, they're going to help you when you fail. They're going to help you get back up and learn from the failure. And you're going to find that over time you will get promoted. You will grow in both power and opportunity for better influence and opportunity to shape other people's lives. And you'll even make a little more money doing it. So you will be able to diverge to that dream and that path, and you will be successful. Let's be great managers. Let's build people up. Let's be great employees. Let's learn and grow into great managers and leaders. Thank you.